It's close to 4 o'clock in the morning right now. I'm what you need. You're watching my channel. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget you can like, share, subscribe. You can also donate via PayPal. The link is in the description. Let's get into it. Praise be to the Most High God. The Most High God comes first. We always try to put the Most High God first before we get into anything else that we got to talk about. We're going to talk about Blair the Flair Cobbs with his terrific victory over Adrien the Problem Broner. We're going to talk about is Broner agent, is Broner need to just hang his gloves up? Is Blair the Flair Cobbs really that good? What's the future for Adrien Broner and Blair the Flair Cobbs? So we're going to talk about all of this and some as we get into this session. Let's talk. First of all, what you need once more. I'm what you need. You're watching my channel. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget you can like, share, subscribe, and donate via PayPal. The link is in the chat section. Let's get into it. First of all, the fight. So what we saw was basically Blair the Flair Cobbs. He basically outpointed Adrien Broner. He won most of the rounds of the fight. He used his jab quite expertly, southpaw jab, and that straight left. Oh my God. So in round two, as we all know, when Blair started off, going to the body to the head, Broner, of course, being very conservative with his punches, got that high guard walking down Blair. And in round two, Blair was using feints and he was popping his jab a lot to keep range, keep distance. A very active fighter. Blair caught Adrien Broner after several attempts. He really caught him with a good straight left. Off the center line, he threw the straight left straight down the center. So impactful was that straight left. It actually knocked a tooth out of Adrien Broner's mouth. For real. Knocked a tooth out of his mouth. Broner got back up. And multiple times in this fight, Adrien Broner, his mouthpiece was knocked out of his mouth. Blair the Flair Cobbs was landing that straight left for most of the night. Now, having said that, here's the thing about Adrien Broner. At first, I was watching Adrien Broner, and he wasn't really, a lot of people say Adrien Broner let his hands go. But I think he's always assessing his opponent, weathering the storm, kind of like Subriel Mateus and just sort of like, Winky Wright and all these other guys who were very defensively responsible. Well, not Mateus, but Mateus is just tough. But so Broner, he was taking some good shots from Blair. Blair was mixing up the shots. He would mix up a straight left, sometimes to the body, to the head, jab to the body, to the head. He was mixing it up. He was using his footwork, to circle the ring. It was mostly circling to his left, which is Adrien Broner's power hand, but he kept the right distance so he could evade the right hand if necessary. Broner started going to the body later on in the fight, and what I like, Broner's tough, man. He got dropped. He got hurt really bad. That sucker's tough. He got back up, and he started walking down Blair the Flair Cobbs for the entire night. He really started to come on stronger in rounds 9 and 10, because it was a 10-rounder. 9 and 10, he really started coming on strong. But I thought Blair was still winning the rounds. I thought Blair was landing the more telling shots. And several times in the fight, Blair, with the straight lefts to the head, it would knock out Adrien Broner's mouth guard from his mouth. Adrien Broner was giving everything he had in that fight. And remember, Adrien Broner hadn't fought for a good period of time. So did Blair. But Adrien Broner hadn't fought a good period of time. Adrien Broner is the older fighter. Now, having seen what I saw, what can I say about Adrien Broner? Should he hang up the gloves on this fight? After this fight? No, he shouldn't hang up the gloves. Me personally, I think he should fight again and again. Another, maybe a lower tier opponent, or but he should fight again because you're still seeing the elements of his game in there. I think Ring Ross had a big part to play in why he wasn't able to do what he was doing. Now, I was listening to some young guys, and they were saying, you need to hang it up. And some of the younger guys were saying, he's a shell of himself. I don't think he's necessarily a shell of himself. I don't think that his performance was the best, but coming down the stretch, he really started to exchange with Blair a lot. His shots were probably the harder shots of the two of them, amazingly. But Blair was much more accurate, and he really had power. And the reason why I knew Blair had power was because Adrien Broner's gum shield kept on coming out, and Blair was also working the body. Blair would mix it up, and sometimes Adrien Broner would have one good, nice right to the body, right? He'd get a nice spleen shot. Blair would come back with 2, 3, 4, 5 shots to the body, Adrien's body. And he was working the body pretty good, Blair. I really thought he was going to take it to Adrien Broner, walk him down, and knock him out at a certain point in time, because the fight really looked like, he was just throwing a lot of shots on Adrien Broner. Broner was blocking some of them, but he was getting hit with some of the money punches of Blair. Blair was hitting him with some money shots. And Blair even said at the end of the fight, Adrien Broner's a tough, tough cookie. He ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And Adrien, I mean, he ate up some of those shots. No doubt about it. And he kept on pressing the action almost all the way to the finish line, which was amazing, seeing what he was able to do. I would say that, but Adrien Broner's problem is that he needs to sort of read you first before he starts to throw his punches. He want to make sure every punch that he throws lands. And the problem with Adrien is that's been his thing for almost his entire career. He'll crash a guy, but he gonna crash you when he's calculated everything perfectly. And sometimes, Adrien, you just gotta let your hands go, bro. Even if you get tagged, you gotta just let your hands go. And his corner was saying, "Let your hands go," But having said that, it was a good fight. It was a good little scrap. It looked like Adrien was gonna close that gap, close that distance, and really just put it down on Blair, because Blair was sometimes moving around and sometimes he was uncomfortable. But for the most part, Blair was doing a great job. He was doing a great job maintaining distance, getting his shots off. Even on the inside, he was throwing combinations. And I think what Blair realized and the calculation they made was the guys that beat Adrien Broner are a combination of punches. Once you throw them twos, threes, fours, fives, and sixes, you're probably going to beat Adrien Broner if he can't catch up to you. And by the time Adrien Broner really started to make it a fight and really started to catch up with Blair, he hit him a nice body shot, I think in round 9. By the time he started to catch up with Blair, it was too late. And Blair was really compliant, but he had to respect Blair's left hand. Blair was hitting him some hard left hands, really hard left hands. Like I said, knocked the tooth out of his mouth, even though he had a mouth guard. And he dropped the mouth guard several times. And Adrien was in shape, no doubt about it. But his style is susceptible to somebody who has high activity rate. And if Adrien can't get control of the fight early enough in the fight, he's going to fall behind, because he's not able to control a fight, and because of his feet, he keeps his feet planted a lot. He don't move his feet a lot. So he's like flat-footed. He's mostly flat-footed when he's fighting. Get more leverage and power, and he's walking you down like a bully. But if you can move around the ring properly and you can get those angles off him. Blair was throwing that left hand, but off the center line, and he was able to pivot out. As a southpaw, I could see that. So Blair was able to beat him. Now, let's talk about the future. For Blair, the sky's the limit for his future. This was a nice big fight. Shout out to Don King and Don King Promotions. I forgot that this fight was this Friday. But shout out to Don King doing it again. I'm so happy to see Don King Promotions hosting such a big fight. And this was a big fight because Teofimo Lopez came out, Antonio Tarver. We had Andre Berto out there. There was a lot of guys out there. And Adrien Broner just needed to shake off some of the ring rust. I was so happy that the fight actually came off as well, because we were kind of iffy. A lot of fights have been falling through. Is this an upset? Yes, this is an upset of some kind, because Adrien Broner is the bigger name. Adrien Broner is the guy that accomplished much more. And so, yes, Blair Flair Cobbs upset Adrien Broner. Now, I predicted, unfortunately I didn't put it down, that I thought Blair was going to win. I don't know if I said that way out there or something, but I thought Blair was going to beat Adrien Broner for several reasons. It so happened that he did. The game plan, the strategy was to outbox him, and that's what they did. And for the most part, I think, unfortunately, I didn't go on record with this, that I think that Blair Flair Cobbs is the more, shall I say, the more versatile fighter, the fighter that can do more things. And so all of that played a role in how the fight went. I think if Adrien Broner could have pressed the action a little bit more, he would have had even more success, because it started to become a fight in rounds 8, 9, and 10. The last 3 rounds, it really started to become a fight. They were trading shots. Adrien was throwing a lot more. Yeah, round 9 was, I think, Adrien Broner's best round. But by and large, I don't know. You could give Adrien Broner 1 or 2 rounds, but I don't think he won the fight. Now, let's talk about the future of them. Like I said before, Adrien Broner, he should just keep on staying busy, getting some more money because we know he needs the money. Don King delivered for him, so hopefully he gets paid. Um, with respect to um, Blair, Blair is a welterweight. That was a welterweight fight. So we expect that Blair will get set up with bigger fights now that he's gotten this fight because Adrien Broner is so kindly obliged him, and Adrien will fight anybody. So this was a good fight. Blair's a good fighter. So this really helps Blair's record. Um, he should really try and avenge his loss to Alexa Rocha though. But having said that, um, looking forward to seeing more from Blair to Flair Cobbs. He's a fun guy for the sport. He's a clean fighter, as far as I do know. So I would love to see him. I would love to see more of Adrien Broner. I think, even though Adrien Broner, and it was a pro Adrien Broner crowd, by the way, in Hollywood. But even so, I would like to see Adrien Broner again. I would like to see Adrien Broner again. I don't think he's going to get hurt per se. But it depends on what kind of fight he ends up having. I would love to see Adrien Broner versus Regis Prograis. For some reason, I would love to see that fight. I think that's two southpaws. Regis Prograis moving up to welterweight to take on Adrien Broner. That would be a big fight, and it's a fight that could happen. So Regis Prograis versus Adrien Broner is a good fight, I think. And I think both guys, they're not super duper active, but they're both power punchers. Broner's probably the bigger guy of the two of them, probably the bigger puncher as well. I would love to see that. Regis Prograis versus Adrien Broner is a good fight that should happen, and it's a money-making fight, and it could happen with Don King, and Broner can get paid. That's the most important thing. And Broner don't duck or dodge nobody. We already know that. He would take on that fight, I'm pretty sure. And so hopefully something like that comes up. They're talking about Devin Haney versus Adrien Broner. That's a good now. Devin Haney versus Blair to Flair Cobbs as a possible fight. That's another good fight as well. Anyways, that's what I got for the stream. I'm what you need. You watching my channel. If you like what you seen, don't forget you can like, share, subscribe. You can also donate via PayPal. The link is in the description. Once again, grace and peace to be to everybody. I'm gonna catch you guys later. Peace. One more thing. So they were talking about Adrien Broner's preparation. He had to change coaches. He wasn't with Mike Stafford, obviously, but he was with what's his name? I forgot his name. Oh boy, I forgot what his name is. And then he changed coaches, and he was with Coach Calvin. All right. But he was with I forgot what his name is. That's crazy. You guys know who the coach trainer I'm talking about, but there's so many different things I do that sometimes I don't remember everything. Okay, I'm gonna catch you guys later though. I'm what you need. Also, I think he was making it difficult to make weight for some reason. I guess but he's been training. He's been doing this thing outside of boxing. It's just I think some ring rust kind of kept him out of a really nice to and fro competitive fight. But kudos to Blair. Blair did it, man. He did it. He's been having wins and some great wins of late, and I gotta salute him. He's on the momentum. He just need to fight more often as well. So Broner need to fight more often. Blair need to fight more often, and we're gonna have some good stuff. But Broner right now has to sort out his tooth, and just keep fighting. When you're at that age with the ring savvy and stuff, you need to keep fighting more. Broner, it's not just about letting his hands go. It's about getting the timing of Blair, getting the timing down. So he was trying to get Blair's timing. He liked to catch everything on the gloves and stuff like that. He throws his little check hooks and stuff. He needed to jab a little bit more. Broner needed to jab a little bit more. That's the thing with Broner. He don't jab enough. So he needs to jab a little bit more and mix it up. Try it, if you're gonna do offense, don't overthink the situation. If you're gonna do offense, don't just be a bully. Be creative. Step around a guy a little bit. Use a little bit of pivot angles. Okay, so you're gonna move flat-footed, no problem with that. But do the James Toney moves. You try to slide in, or come over the top with the overhand right. Counter the jab. Those kinds of things. I know it's a southpaw jab, but nonetheless, you gotta angle yourself so you can get that right hand in. But of course Blair was maintaining the distance, so he couldn't really. He would fall short if he threw. And Adrien's a guy. He don't understand. Sometimes you need to just throw. Even if you miss, you can follow up with something else. You throw off the angle, like if I'm a right-hander, I throw my overhand right. That means I'm gonna slide in. Now he might clinch me. That's true, but I still close distance. I might get a little left hook inside there. So I'm just saying, those are the things that, he don't do. Like he sometimes he don't take that gamble of throw to miss. Just make sure you defensively off the center line and follow up with something else. But I think he was trying to get Blair's timing as well, and Blair was really popping that jab. He was like tripling it and stuff in his face and catching him with the jab too, because Adrien don't stay off center line as much as we thought. You know, so it's a lot of things Adrien Broner need to work to get more offense off of, but I don't know if he puts in the work like that. He been doing all kinds of things outside of the ring, been drinking and all of that, and you gotta get rid of those vices, bro. You gotta get rid, because you got age under you as well, and you might like to fight and everything, but you gotta clean yourself up, my friend. You gotta clean yourself. You gotta live. That temple gotta be clean. You gotta really commit yourself to the sport, and that's the one thing he never really, really, really got around to. Never really, really got around to. He's still not committed to the sport like that. He can fight like that. He can fight like the dude can fight his ass off, but it's just he's not committed like that. So that's the problem. That's Adrien the problem. You got Blair the Flair, and boy did we see some Flair. So we'll see what happens with Adrien Broner and Blair the Flair. But that's what I got for you guys. I'm what you need. You're watching my channel. You like, share, subscribe. And don't forget you can donate via PayPal. I'm gonna catch you guys later. Peace.